I've wanted to be a writer of fiction for basically as long as I've been able to write words. I mean, even back when I was 6 or 7, I was writing short stories. They were obviously not great, but I just wanted to write fiction. I read a lot of books back then, a lot more than I do now, which I might cover in a future vlog. But I just wanted to be like those writers. I just wanted to be able to write fiction. And that's not something that's faded. I mean, I'm a writer right now, and I quite enjoy being able to put my thoughts into words, even on the subject of anime. In fact, I greatly enjoy it. I don't want to undersell how much I enjoy what I'm doing right now, but there's still a part of me that really wants to be able to write fiction, to make my own stories that can touch people the way stories can. I mean, I know I have connected to some people emotionally through my current writing, but it doesn't feel the same. It's not... When I'm communicating my experiences and people relate to that emotionally, I'm happy with it. But it's not the same as creating a story that people connect to. And I just want the ability to be able to do that. And unfortunately, I don't have time. I am already quite busy working on my channel. I have school starting at the end of this month. So with those two things combined, I just don't have the time to write fiction. I wrote a few fanfics earlier this year, and I really enjoyed it. Even though fanfiction is definitely derivative in a way that non-fanfiction isn't, it's still greatly enjoyable to just be able to create a story. And while a lot of my more interesting video ideas are about creating stories, as I talked about yesterday, my 12 days project this year is going to be creating a story. It's more that's more like writing a memoir or an autobiography or something, which is certainly enjoyable. Again, I don't want to undersell what I'm doing, but it's not exactly the same thing as writing a book or a novel, you know? And as I said, writing those fanfics really helped me understand how much I want to write fiction. But I ran out of time to write them. I wrote those 3 Comic Girls fics and the Nanoha fic in a short period of time. I have one unwritten Nanoha fic that I might release at some point, but I'm not a huge fan of how it turned out. And otherwise, that was all back in May, and after ASEN, after I met up with Lachlan, I got focused on the Ikuhara project, and then since then, I just haven't had time. Especially now that I'm starting to actually read books again, the period where I could just write fanfics is lacking. And while I might be able to write some in the future, especially if I can tie it into an actual main channel video or something, I'm not getting paid for them, and I can't really justify it. And that's kind of what?
Zeria, how did you get 120 messages worth of Fate discussion while I was in the shower?
You can talk a lot about Fate. There's a lot to talk about.
How about instead of just writing Fate discussions in my Discord server, you direct those towards writing your fiction?
I was writing that while I was talking in there while watching an episode of Free. I can't exactly write actual fiction while watching anime. Returning to the vlog. Yeah, I just don't have time to write fanfics, and I especially don't have time to write actual fiction. So I might as well, just quickly lay out what my plans were with those fanfics, and these plans may hold true if I ever get back to writing this stuff again. I plan on writing a series of Nanoha fics that would build up to a Nanoha novel that I intended to write, that I still kind of intend to write. Maybe next year in NaNoWriMo. I definitely don't have time this November. Which would basically serve as a sequel to Strikers, as another season of Nanoha, and I thought the ideas were really cool. As always, I might be a little too ambitious for my own good, but I just wanted to write fiction, and while I'm happy with what I'm doing, I'm not entirely satisfied because I don't have the ability to write fiction. If you imagine your job as a trip. Let's say I wanted to take a trip to Japan, right? And due to how circumstances worked out, I ended up in China. And China's great. There's still a lot of things similar to Japan in China. But it's not Japan. I'm not in Japan. I'm in China. And as much as I may enjoy China, I still want to go to Japan. And that's how I feel with my writing right now. I enjoy writing fiction, or I enjoy writing nonfiction a ton. I enjoy writing these essays that I write to be scripts on my blog. If you look at the Kemono Friends video, I weaved a narrative there. But, like, these narratives are not the same thing as writing fiction, as creating my own characters and world, and doing what I have wanted to do forever. When I watch an anime, and I see the writing in that anime, I, like, think to myself, wow, I wish I could make something like this. I wish I could inspire people the same way Ikuhara inspires me, the same way that Ano inspires so many people, you know? And I just can't right now. And part of this is probably just, you know, realizing as time goes on that I can't do everything I want to do. I also want to be able to draw and to make music, and I'm probably never going to get the time to do that. Fiction, at least, there's a chance. But it's just kind of sad to think about that, like, for these years and years and years, I've just wanted to write fiction, and it's just not possible. So, like, the best thing I can do is try and turn my nonfiction and make it as narrative and layered and interesting as possible. But that's only so close to what I actually want. And is there a real point to this vlog other than me just bitching about the fact that I don't have time to write fictional material?
Nope.
No, she's right. No. But, you know, I feel quite sad about it. Hopefully I'll get back to writing fanfics eventually, but, you know, for now...
In the meantime, try and relieve my sadness by heading over on a patreon.com/Zeria.
Yeah, if you go to patreon.com/Zeria and I get enough money, if you pay me to write fiction, I will write fiction. Patreon.com/Zeria. Go patron me. Bye.